there are really only 3 ways to sell beats in 2025. So if you haven't made your first K yet through selling beats, you should choose one of them right now. We start from the worst idea, which is selling beats through DMs. If you made your first $200, don't go for DMs. But if you haven't made any money and you literally want to prove to yourself that you can sell something, DM actually becomes your best friend then. Because if you really want to sell $1 worth of beats, it's the best tool actually. And why I don't sell through DMs is because of that. I actually got like at least 3 situations when I already like made kind of a deal with someone from DMs. So like, the guy was interested in my beat. He generally really like, was into the deal, but he's telling me that his friend sells him 2 exclusive licenses for $150. He wanted 2 exclusive licenses for $100 from me. To put it into perspective, I don't usually sell beats below $70, and we are talking about basic MP3 lease. If you want to make your first dollar, and if you want to sell exclusive beats for like $5, you can do it through DMs. But if you want to really start making profits regularly, DMs will not work. To summarize, advantages of DMs are: first advantage of delay is that you can do this immediately, so you don't even need to start making beats right now, you don't need to make a channel, you don't need to do anything. If you got Instagram account, you just start DMing right now. You could start cold outreach selling through DMs right now. The other advantage is you can, like, even today, if you start today, you can already get 200 rappers in your DMs, and that's pretty good, because in your first days and weeks of, for example, YouTube type beats, you will not get 200 people, okay? But you can really text today 200 rappers if you commit to that, and that's really powerful. So that's definitely advantage. Disadvantages is obviously what I said about money, so don't expect making a lot of money through DMs. The other thing is, if you haven't tried this tactic before, I will just tell you from my own experience, you feel like a piece of crap after sending 100 DMs to random people. That's why I couldn't do this long term, because it takes soul out of you, man, really. The other method I would like to mention is also on Instagram, but this time through content, no through DMs. So what I'm talking about, so now we don't want to send DMs, so now we go for a content on Instagram, and I suggest you to do this if you're kind of advanced, because your beats need to be better than on YouTube, because I could post my beats back in days on YouTube and get 1000 views, and they were not good at all. But if you post the beat that is kind of average on Instagram, you will get 0 views, okay? Definitely you will not sell them, you will not get views, you will not get anything from that. So your beats need to be really good for Instagram. They don't have to be mixed really well, but they need to really sound good in general, okay? The biggest advantage of Instagram, when you make content, people comment or people DM you directly. So if they comment, you can DM them, you already got contact to them, and there is way bigger chance that you will make a sale through this kind of DM than through cold outreach. And maybe they will DM you directly, because if they are on YouTube, they are pretty likely to stay on YouTube. But if they're already on Instagram, they are very likely to text you, bro. The other advantage of Instagram over, for example, YouTube, is that through Instagram Reels, you are pretty likely to get like 200, 300 views, even with your first reel, without really doing anything. On YouTube, to get your first 300 views, like, it depends on who you are, but it may take you a month. Literally, it may take you a month. So on Instagram Reels, you reach out to 200 people in a few days without any effort at all. So that's really big advantage. And the last advantage of Instagram content, and it's probably the biggest one, is Instagram stories. If you get fair amount of followers that check your stories, you may get into the situation when you got 100 rappers that like your beats. You may post your exclusive beats, limited offer, time limited offer, okay? And now you got really a lot of tools for selling your beats with, just can't do like a limited offer on YouTube. I tried, like, how would you like to do that on YouTube? There is no way. You will tell me through YouTube posts, yeah, So your beats are seen by 5,000 people and your post got like 30 likes. So it will not really work. But stories, you know, in story you got like, you may post the video of the beat, you may add direct link to purchase the beat. This is a really powerful tool for selling beats. This is the biggest advantage of Instagram content at all. Now let's talk about disadvantages. Instagram is really competitive. I said about it earlier, you just can make okay beats and do pretty well on YouTube. Because I used to get views when I was really like total rookie. I was making beats for less than 2 years and I could get like 500 views, which for niche type beats is not good, but it's better than nothing. If your beats are average, you will not get anything on Instagram because the competition is way bigger, because content is not niched by genres, okay? And you don't have like this whole type beat thing. So this is really competitive and your beat need to be really good. And the other thing is you are not really building fan base like on YouTube, because on YouTube at first you got subscribers, at least part of them will see your content, but generally if you're big on YouTube you can expect to get more views on YouTube in your any video. On my own example, I could post anything to like my old type beat channel with 1,000 subscribers and I will get like, you know, nothing crazy, but I'm sure that I will get like 500 views plus, like by far, okay, in a few weeks or months. But if you make one good reel, you go to 10k, 5k, 10k or more, your next reel may get like 20 views. Literally. So just bear in mind that if you make Instagram reels, every reel is fighting for your life, because you may get 100,000 views or you may get 100 views. Okay, so bear in mind. And obviously the last one is YouTube type beats. Everybody knows what YouTube type beats are probably, so I will just give you like quick advantages and disadvantages summarize. So okay, so first advantage of YouTube is you can actually only produce beats and you don't have to do anything else, because on Instagram you need to, like, you know, hustle with content. On DMs you need to DM those people, but on YouTube you generally just post beats, you upload them, and upload takes like 5 minutes generally. So you can literally sit for whole day and produce beats, which is pretty good advantage over other producers, because you can just improve your beats for 24/7 actually. The other thing is probably YouTube is the best for growing like your organic audience that will like stay with you for longer than on Instagram, because your audience on Instagram will leave you pretty quickly, but your audience on YouTube can stay with you for months and years, and you can do this easily like organically. YouTube is generally the best for building this organic, nice fan base of real people, okay? The other advantage is that it's actually less competitive than Instagram, and now you're thinking, no, how? Like YouTube type beats, there's oversaturation. No, not really, because on YouTube there is really strict niche algorithm. So if you make J-Cole type beats, you are not competing with all other type beats. On Instagram you compete with everyone who makes beats, but generally on YouTube you just get into this one specific niche and you compete only with few guys that make few beats there. And if you go for some specific niche, and I think that the meta for YouTube is going for really specific niches, so even maybe niches that are not from USA, so making like type beats specific for your country, there are like 2 guys overall in the whole world that also do this kind of type beat thing. So now your competition is 2 guys. So generally, if you find the right niche, YouTube type beats is a lot of less competitive. And the last advantage of YouTube is this is the only way of doing passive income as a producer, because you literally post one beat, and if it's good, you will make sales while you sleep for years. 2.5 years ago, I made a beat, and every few weeks or months I get some notification that I still get money from the beat. This is by far the best tool for building passive income, but also passive stream of views, because your views are also on Instagram, you will lose your views in a few days, or YouTube you will get views for years. Literally on YouTube you will get views for years, you will get sales for years. Disadvantage of YouTube is that you need to make basic beats. So if you want to really become the next Kanye West, you will not like type beats. Your beats on YouTube can't be too good. Type beats are very specific because it doesn't mean that you just need to make one melody and drums, but generally your beats should be pretty simple, and at first you stick to one niche. So if you like go for J. Cole, you make only J. Cole type beats right now, and you should make them daily, so just prepare for this. If you go for YouTube type beat, you just make J. Cole type beats for 5 months every day, nothing else. Okay. And the other problem is because, like, you know, J. Cole type beat is pretty wide term, but you should actually stick to one idea, one formula of beat. So the same arrangement, the same mix, kind of similar melody and generally structure. So if you really hate making basic beats and you want to really be this kind of next Kanye West, this is pretty difficult to maintain type beats then. The other disadvantage of YouTube is you don't get direct connections to rappers. Before they hit you on Instagram or just on Beastars, they download something, you have no way to connect to them, like those guys who like, who give subscriptions, who write comments, okay? There is no direct connection to all those artists. That's actually why Instagram may be better for some people, because there you go with your direct connection. Okay, so let's sum it up. DMs are for you if you want to make your first dollar from producing. If you made $100, don't do that. If you made $200, anything, like if you really made any actual sale from beats, don't do DMs. If you want to make your first sale, do DMs. Just stick to it for a few weeks and you will probably get one. You are advanced, so I'm talking you made more than 1000 beats in your life, you're in this game for a year or two at least, then you can try with Instagram, but you also have to be okay with creating content. But if you anyway like to post some stories to your private page, if you generally like making some nice photos of yourself, and if you generally like your face, okay, so if you want to post your face, go for Instagram, because it will give you advantage over faceless guys. If you don't like making this kind of content with your face, where you're just like me sitting here talking, don't go for Instagram. If you're just a chill guy who makes beats and want to make some money, YouTube is probably the best, because overall you will grow your fan base, you will make like sales sooner or later, you will get some sales. So generally, if you're just a chill guy who wants to make some money in the long run, YouTube is nice. But generally, what I think, first month of YouTube is easier than Instagram, but generally if you build right audience or Instagram, in the long run you will make way more money. I'm Mordalski and I will help you make your first K from producing. So if you're interested, you can DM me or book a call with me. That's first and second link in the description. Bye.